Coach Eastman to come back out here, which is fun for me. Hopefully we can give you some things here. If you were here for my fast break session yesterday, I'm going to briefly go over some of the things that I talked about in regard to positionless basketball, kind of our history of it. So for about 10 minutes or so, you got to listen to me talk, and then we're going to do a lot of stuff on court. Most of the on-court stuff, for those of you down here, most of the half-court stuff we're going to keep down on this end, just because the chair's there and the window's being on that end. There will be some full court things. If at any time during this you want to ask a question, that's okay. I've got 2 sessions here. I should have plenty of time to show you a lot. I'm not, by any stretch of the imagination, going to be able to get through every single thing we do offensively, but I want to show you the basics, the foundation, and a lot of drills. I know coaches like drills, so most of the drills are going to be things we've come up with, that we've designed, but some of it will be things that you've seen out there, probably have run yourself. So if some of it's reviewed for you, I apologize, but maybe I'll say something a different way, or you see something run a different way that you really like it. So our history with positionless basketball basically was this. I coached at a high school just outside Chicago in the States, and we have a system where we don't have any teams feeding into our high school program. So we have grades 9 through 12. And those 4 classes, when they come in as a 9th grader, at this point, I'm talking 9 years ago, we had no say in what they had learned prior to that. There was no real youth development in our community. And so every year, we get kids in from 4 or 5, sometimes 6 different middle schools, and they'd all play on 5 or 6 different teams, and then we had to try to teach them from ground zero, okay, from the ground up. And so we were looking for something that we could use in a youth development capacity. You know, we were looking for something that we could put in with young players, 5th grade, 4th or 5th grade, 10, 11-year-old kids, and then build up until they played through our program. In essence, we were trying to build what you already have here in a lot of places. You have clubs that start young and work all the way up through university level. That's what we wanted. And so we were looking for something that we could build progressively, build over the years until it was just something that they knew, like they learned math, or they learned science, or they learned how to read. We were looking for that. We also wanted something that would give us flexibility. So in the States, we have public schools and private schools. Private schools get to decide who their players are going to be. Public schools, you coach what you get. So from year to year, your personnel can be very, very different. There's some years where we're very short, there's some years where we're very big, there's some years where we're in between. There's some years where they have a lot of skill, there are some years where they have no skill. So we wanted to find something that we could run pretty consistently. Instead of having to try new offenses and new defenses, we wanted to be able to fit pieces in based on what we had. Okay? And the other thing we wanted to be able to do is we wanted to be able to put the 5 best players out on the floor. We wanted to say, okay, so maybe our 5 best players are all guards. How can they all play together? So we were looking for that, and we feel like we found it. We also wanted something that would allow us to grow. So it would allow our team to grow and get better as the season went on. A lot of times if you just run set plays, you're scoutable, teams can watch your set plays, and as the season wears on, they're less and less effective. If you run a pattern offense, like a flex offense, or even a Princeton, over the course of the year, people kind of figure out the pattern, and it's harder to get better as the season went on. So what we were looking for was something that we could grow with, and the better we got at what we did, the better our offense would be. That was basically the components we were looking for in an offense. And so I personally had played and coached in a lot of different systems. I had played in a pattern offense system, I had played in a run and gun style system, I had played in a motion offense. I coached with a coach that was all set plays. We had like a 75 play playbook, and trying to memorize all those. I just didn't ever find anything I loved. I was looking for kind of something that merged all of it together. So we researched everything when we got the head job, and I'm going into my 12th year as the head coach. And again, I'm talking about 12 years ago here. Researched offenses, the dribble drive offense and the Princeton offense were the 2 hot offenses at the time. We were trying to figure out what we wanted to run. We tried different things. We went with Princeton for a couple of years, and then we found the read and react from Rick Corbett. And obviously I have history with Rick Corbett. I've worked with him very closely. He created the read and react. What we found was the read and react was a great fit for us at the time, and still is. It's the foundation of what we do. But really what we've done is we've taken it over the years, and now coaching it for 7 or 8 years, we've really kind of added things to it. One of the things I'll show you today is something that we just came up with on our own. I think what Rick would even tell you is he wanted this offense to have a life of its own. He wanted this thing to take off. And I think what a lot of read react coaches that I know in the States make the mistake of is they just want to do it right off the video. And they don't let themselves be creative with it. And I think being creative with it is where the fun is for the coaches. I think it's fun for the coaches, I think it's fun for the players. So you're going to hear a lot of read and react terminology here, but really the best thing about read and react is you can take the foundation and make it anything you want. You can build it into anything, as long as you kind of adhere to the foundation. We've been doing that now full-time for about 8 seasons. And our buy-in moment was in our first season of running this. We had a group of kids who, the year prior, we had kind of gone half Princeton, half read and react, and it didn't work real well. And this year we kind of had gone all in with a positionless system. And in our 3rd game, we scored 90 points without hitting a 3-pointer. And I think we were 0 for 10 from the arc at halftime. And I just said, why are we have 45 points, why are we even bothering shooting threes? No more threes. And so we didn't shoot any in the second half, we scored 90. So once our kids saw that that was possible, then our coaches, our kids all, they all bought in. Some of the benefits that we really like with this positionless style is it just teaches, it lends itself to learning great spacing. Our kids understand spacing, okay? And everything we do 5-on-5, 5-on-0 has great spacing. Everything we do in practice, and you'll see this in the drills we put, there's player development aspects of it. We're not just running plays for the sake of running plays. If we're drilling habits, we're drilling player development habits. We're working on some skills of the game. A lot of times multiple skills so we can collapse time frames. We're constantly putting pressure on the rim. There's always someone cutting to the basket or posted up near the basket. The defense can't ever stop and take a break. They can't ever breathe because we're constantly sending someone towards the rim. And then our ball movement is outstanding. We have a circulation system, which I'm going to talk about here. Our circulation system really keeps the ball moving from side to side. Keeps looking inside, keeps looking to penetrate inside. And so those are the things that we like about it. It's definitely an equal opportunity offense. It's one of those systems that, in our best years, we have 5 or 6 guys averaging double figures, depending on how the season goes. But I think the most important thing is the players like to play in it. They don't feel constrained. They're able to figure out in our system what they do best and how they can use their strengths to have success. And the thing that we love about basketball, the thing that I personally love, the thing our program really embraces, is that in basketball, you get to work as hard as you can to become the best individual player possible to help your teammates. So everything you're doing, some guys have different motivations, some guys say they want to play at the next level and that type of thing, and that's why they do it. But realistically, the reason you work on your game is so that you can be more effective in games and help your teammates out. That's what we like about it. So that's something that our team and our culture has kind of embraced. I'm gonna try to get through as much of this as I can in terms of what we like to run. If you have questions in the second session, I think there'll be enough time for some questions to show some different things. I don't want to be presumptuous. So I don't want to assume everybody in here has seen the basics, and I don't want to assume that everybody in here has run this, and I don't want to assume that someone in here has any clue what I'm talking about right now. So I really want to build it from the ground up. So for some of you, this will be repetitive, but I will give you a lot of drills in the second session. Okay, there'll be a lot of things that we do to train these habits. I want to put the foundation in though during this first session. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and bring these guys out here. Jakob, come on out. Stan, Bo, Wout, Jordan, Malik, yep. He's hiding back there, where's he at? Leonard, I gotta see you, Leonard. Are you behind the sign, buddy? Bo's already out here. Hold on, I got it. Audio. Yes, I got all of them. All right, I told these guys I was going to learn their name. You guys are going to need a basketball. We're going to come down here. So these are my demonstrators for the next couple hours. They're a little nervous. Give them a round of applause. Okay? And I just want you doing something with the ball in your hands. Going around your back, around your legs. No dribbling right now, but just do some stationary ball handling while you're out. Okay, now you don't have to do it the whole time. This is what we do in our practices. We don't really like to have guys just sitting and watching. So our rule is if you're out of a drill, you gotta have a basketball in your hands. If you go in for somebody, you hand them the basketball, then they take it and they do it. Now, if we're teaching, we don't want dribbling stuff. But if there's not a lot of teaching, we allow them to dribble. The rule is, if I stop what we're doing and we're going to talk about something, then they stop dribbling. But we want these guys always trying to get better with the basketball in their hands. And we don't like a lot of idle time. A lot of times we don't have enough practice time to have downtime. Okay? All right, so I only need one basketball out here. So roll those off to the baseline. You keep that, you keep yours. Okay, stand roll yours up. All right, so Gilbert's got the ball. Now, these guys are familiar with these layers, so this should go pretty well, I think. The first thing we've got to do is we've got to have a circulation system. We have to have a way to move the ball around the court. Okay? And sometimes we're going to have a big guy, we're going to want him inside, sometimes we're going to have a bunch of little guys, but we're going to be able to spread the floor no matter what and keep great spacing. So in order to teach spacing and to teach ball movement, we do our first layer, which is east-west passing. So anytime a ball gets passed from here to a perimeter spot, go ahead and throw that, we're going to cut to the basket. Now, we don't necessarily say cut to the basket and put your head under the rim, because in the game that's not really going to happen. They're going to cut it off. What we use is called a decision box, and there are 9,000 lines right here, so I'm not really sure what our decision box would be, but I'm going to say get below this yellow line. Once you get below here and look for the ball and don't get it, then you can make a decision. Okay? So this player now, Jorgen, gets down here. If he doesn't get the ball, he's going to look for an open spot. You guys have to think of this like this is a big vacuum tube here. Like this orange line is a big vacuum tube. And when this spot gets empty, you have to fill it. Okay? And you're going to fill up, and now you've got an open spot to go to. Okay? So immediately you can see how we can keep spacing with these cuts. Go ahead and pass the ball to the top. Now you're going to cut. We're filling. You don't get it, you're popping out. A lot of people, when they look at positionless basketball or the read and react, the first thing they say is, well, there's no screening. We really like to screen. That couldn't be further from the truth. If you want to screen, you can start doing it immediately right here. All right, in this first layer. So Jakob, go ahead and pass the ball to Woke. You're going to cut. You can just make this decision for them. Okay, you can say, look, anytime you cut here, you're going to now go out and back screen. Okay, so you set a back screen here, now Stan will go, because you screen for him. And then shape up. And now Stan, you can go set a back screen, or you can pop out. So you can be super flexible with this. You can be really, really creative with it, or you can be very basic, depending on what your player's comfortability level is. Okay? So what we're going to do with this first layer is we are just going to pass and cut. All right? We're just going to pass and cut, taking no shots, and we're just going to kind of work on our circulation system, work on how we're going to move around. Okay? Just pass and cut, no legs. Go. Okay, catch with your eyes. Catch with your eyes. All right, go ahead. Good. Freeze. Oh, that's good. That's good. Now, in this situation, and this always happens, this is why I did this. Right now, we have 5 players on one side of the floor. Is that good spacing? Of course not. However, what's about to happen is you're going to go right here, and where are you going to go? He's going to go out that way, okay? Were you setting a screen there? Is that what, yeah, you know what he says? Look at this. These guys already know to go set a screen. I just said it one time. So he's going to set a screen. You're going to cut to the basket. Who set the screen? Jakob? You screen? Okay, so you cut. Stan, get out. Okay, then fill up. And now we're spaced again. Sometimes what happens is you'll pass the ball here. You'll cut down here, and you'll wait a little too long. And you'll get overplayed, and you'll cut. Okay? Go ahead and cut. And now we've got 2 guys in here, and it's like, uh-oh, now what do we do? You're filling up, so there's nowhere for you guys to go there. When in doubt, what did Kevin say yesterday in this session? When in doubt, get out, right? That was transition. When in doubt, get out. We do when in doubt, spread out. Okay? When in doubt, spread out. So you guys you're clogging up the lane right now, right? Get out of here. We want to score. Go out. Okay? When in doubt, spread out. So we're working on this circulation system right now, and all we're trying to do is build the habit of pass and put pressure on the rim. Pass and put pressure on the rim. Okay? Very, very basic. Very, very basic. But you can get like 24 different scoring opportunities out of this. You know, you can pass, cut, and get a layup. Okay? You fill up. You can pass, cut, stop right there. Wait, stop. You can pass, stop right here, get a jump shot. You can get a shot fake and drive. Okay? Just through all this, if you have good fundamentals, you can do these things. Now, I said in everything we do, we're working on player development. That's probably true in any offense, if you really think about it. Right now, we're working on the habits of cutting to the basket, putting pressure on the rim, but we're working on passing and catching. You know, in the States, we talk about this all the time. In baseball, the first thing you do at practice is you get a glove and ball and you play catch. In football, quarterbacks and wide receivers play catch back and forth. In soccer, you have passing drills. Football, sorry, over here is football. You have passing drills where you kick the ball back and forth. In basketball, not very often do our kids get together and get on the playground and start playing catch. So we've got to do it through these drills, and we're going to show one a little bit later, our perfect passing drill, that works on just that. Because they need to learn to catch with their eyes. The worst thing that players do is they think they catch with their hands. And they're over here thinking about something else as the ball's coming. We tell them to catch with their eyes, so we're working on that here. Go ahead and do no screens, okay? Just pass, cut, and fill. Go. Good. All right, freeze. Okay, go fill out.